Welcome to CMath Run. I do teach a couple of statistics courses, so we're going to be looking at some of the statistics features of the Casio 9750, 9860, and Casio Prizm. We'll be doing these on the Prizm, obviously, but you can follow along on those calculators as well. We just started statistics this week. We looked at some basic features, one variable statistics, basic graphs, things like that. So I'm going to be using this channel as a means to communicate with my students as well. But it's available for everybody to use, so please share these if you find them handy. If not, share them anyway. So I'm going to go into statistics mode. I pressed from the home menu, I went into number 2. Here's my list editor. Let's put in some data. So I'm just going to put in some numbers here. Number 24, so let's go 24, execute. Just making up the data set as I go along here. I got 6 data points. That's enough to get me some information on the data. Information is off to the side here, so you can also follow along. You can put in the same data if you'd like. In this menu now, I've got options. My options are I can graph the information, I can calculate the information, some kind of statistical test with the information, confidence interval with the information, or look at the distribution. If I press F6, I've got more options. I got some tools that I can do some different things with. CSV files, you can't import CSV files from your computer. If you've got an Excel CSV file, you can do that. But I'm just going to look at some basic calculations with the information, so I'm going to go into Calc. Before I do one variable statistics, I want to look at how this information is set up. I currently know that it's set up to do one variable stats on list 1, but I just want to make sure that I check. So currently I'm doing one variable stats on the X list, which is list number 1. Notice underneath it says one variable frequency. So if I've got a list that's frequency, if I have a frequency list, I can change that and make that list 2 or list 3 or whatever the list of frequencies happens to be. Two variable statistics are going to be based on list 1 and list 2 as your X and Y list with frequency. Again, same option, you can change that to be whatever you want. I'm just going to do one variable stats with a frequency of 1, so I press exit. I have the option of one var. I press F1. There's my one variable statistics. Mean, sum squared, population standard deviation and sample standard deviation, number of data sets. As I scroll down, I get my 5-number summary. My minimum, quartile 1, median, quartile 3, maximum, and also something that's unique to the Casios is you get the modes. It will list all the modes, how many modes there are, and the frequency for each one of the modes. So this tells you what the mode is, how many of those modes, how many of them had the same number, and what the frequency is. Very handy information for younger students. My older students as well appreciate that. I'll exit back out of there. I'll exit again. Let's take a quick look at a graph of the information. Again, I'm just going to press graph. I want to look at how it's set up. Now the menu items are very easy to navigate. You just toggle down. Scatter plot doesn't make sense to do a scatter plot if I've only got one list of information. I can make a histogram or a box plot or a bar graph. Broken, there is a difference between bar graphs and histograms, and that's something students struggle with because it may not have always been pointed out. So I'm going to make a histogram of the information. X list is list 1. Toggle down, my frequency is 1. Color link technology is patent pending. That is an awesome piece of technology. I won't be using it on this video, but we will be using that later. You can customize the histogram area. If I want to change the color, I can just simply change the color. Currently it's set at blue. Let's go with number 9. We'll go with an automatic rainbow color. The paint style you can change as well. I'll exit. The histogram borders, so the lines around the histogram can also be changed. And that's all my options. execute. Now in order to see it, you got to press F1 to see the graph. Awesome piece right here is the bin width. Now we can have the conversation of the bin width before we even see the graph. How wide do we want to make these bins? It's starting at 24 and it's going by 8.3. I'm going to change that to 10. So now my bins are going to be 10 starting at 24. If you would like, let's start that at 20. I'm going to toggle back up, make that a 20. Press execute to lock it in. Press execute again to go ahead and draw it. Here's my rainbow of colors on my information. Now what's really nice also is I've got one var, which means I can look at the one variable statistics on that same information. So I can toggle back between the graph and the one variable statistics. And these bins are 20, start at 20, goes over 10, goes over 10. If you want to trace, I press Shift F1. F means frequency. How often are these happening? Where is my information at? So there's just some quick statistics. We'll be coming back with more later. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and stay tuned. We will be doing more.